Hey, welcome back to the channel. Did Duke the Jeweler's wallet get found next to Boosie's concert? Watch this whole video to find out. Now, let's get started, man. So, look, guys, before that dice game, whenever they went to the restaurant to eat the first day, the first night that Duke got into town in Houston, him, Boosie, and Jay Prince, and all the people that was basically at the dice game, but I'm talking about like the starters, the all-stars, they all went to dinner and everything. And that's when the Wolves had seen, when they were paying for their check, everybody was coming in and they were going to pull the tab and they were going to pull weight and stuff like that. But that's when the Wolves had turned around. They're in the table right next to him because obviously the entourage had to come with and basically just tiptoeing everywhere with them, right? And that's when the guys that was really like pocket watching, they had seen Duke's wallet and everything, and that's how they knew he had the 600K with him and everything from the dice game. That's the reason why they even were like, yeah, keep inviting him, and they wanted him to be there the whole weekend and everything like that. So just keep in mind that when they seen him on IG with the Louis Vuitton bags, that's how they knew that he had more than just the cash that he came with at that restaurant, and he had more than what the money that he won actually at the dice game. And of course, like, the main reason was that he was going to make a piece for Boosie and give him a pendant with the chain and the Cuban links on it. It was going to be gold with diamonds on it, factory made. It was supposed to be a very, very expensive piece, into the 200,000s, and so that's why he mainly came and he went to the dice game and got invited, is because he was doing his business. This was basically a business trip for him, and that's why he even took his all of his top products out of the display case in the jewelry shop. And so once he touched down in Houston, though, that's when they started the whole weekend. And there was like, all these events every day was something different. And so, because that they got to go eat at a restaurant. And so that's the first thing they did when he went to Houston, is he got in touch with Boosie, Jay Prince, and all that, right? They said, what's up? And that's when they sat down and ate. But not a lot of that was filmed, like the dice game and the concert. And so the next day at the dice game, that's when he still brought some jewelry to show Boosie, to show a piece. And then he didn't make the deal or anything that day. He didn't have Boosie agree to anything. He didn't give him. He was trying to get him with a buy one get one, where he would give Boosie a free pendant and chain if he was to show his hospitality back and maybe even buy one. And so at that, and maybe even he knew that Boosie might have needed $1 million, and so that's why he was willing to actually give him a $250,000 chain for free, because he knew that he would be able to use that. But that might not have been enough to cover the whole $1 million tab. So it's like, hey, if he's willing to give $250K a free chain, then he must have it like that, to where he might not need the $1 million worth of all the jewelry he took out of the display case, plus the $600,000 cash on him from the dice game, and the fact that he actually won. Like, a lot of people were saying, when they went back and looked into history, they saw that Duke was actually good at shooting dice. Like, he was actually a good player when it came to dice games and stuff. He actually ran a lot of tables and was actually involved in a lot of games to where he was winning, and everything was, for entertainment purposes, for charity, whatever they was playing for. But it was not his first time, and so apparently they didn't know this. They didn't know this at the dice game. So when, everybody else, they was just playing because it was something to do. It looked good on camera. It looked good for them to just be there hanging out, having their drink, put one in the air and actually count through the money, have the jewelry on, just like what Jay Prince was doing. And you see how at that same dice game, Boosie didn't wear none of his jewelry. He wasn't even trying to wear no designer drip or nothing. Like, he took his Gucci shirt off and put that to the side before everybody came, because he knew that the Wolves were going to be there. So he wanted to make sure that no attention went on him. And he even took it to the next level to make sure that he didn't get too close to the dice table, so people didn't even think that he was playing at all. And so they didn't think that Duke was going to be as good as he was at the dice game. And that's how he was able to win a lot of money, guys. Like that $600,000, he was getting them one after another. Like he almost got half of that off of just Jay Prince alone and a couple of the other guys who was there, man. And, one of the other artists, like it was other artists there, but they were like underground, or maybe they're on the come up now, but they just had got deals. So they had money to play with. And so I think it was like a lot to do with the fact that he got a lot of money from that dice game, which caused the people to watch him even more. The pocket watchers and the wolves was just going crazy once they seen that it's only one guy, one target that had all this money. That's why they actually escalated the whole thing and took it to the next level and decided that night at the dice game, when everything was over with and people were wrapping it up and the whole janitors came in to clean everything, and they were recycling the bottles and putting all the cans in the bags, they decided that, hey, invite him to the concert, tell him to bring the chains again. Somebody's going to look at that piece. So they made it another reason for Duke to come out to the concert, because at this point, once Duke actually, was en route to the concert and he was doing everything following the directions of Boosie's driver, who was right in front of him, once they got to the gate and they told him that he could no longer come into the secure area and that he couldn't come into the parking area that he actually had a pass for his VIP ticket, that's when he should have turned around and just went home, took the next flight out of Houston back home, man, or to a vacation somewhere, because it was at that moment when everything was like, okay, now that they got you where you wanted, where they wanted you to go, and now they done left you like basically to fend for yourself, to have to like take on all these people that is on one side. Like the wolves and all of them, they're not gonna do anything to Boosie's people. So when they see that Duke didn't even get into the gate of Boosie's people, they must have think, oh, something was wrong. He must have had access denied, or it must be a fluke. He must not really know him like that. And that's when they had the idea and got to thinking, like, you got to keep in mind that they probably were like, oh, okay, once he's separated and he goes into that lot by himself, that's when they're thinking, okay, it's go time. The move is to be made. The play is to be ran at that time. So it's too many things that like just happen back to back to back to back in a row for people not to think that a lot of people knew. A lot of people that was right there knew exactly what was going on, man. And that's why people were in certain positions in certain places and were like strategically out of the way, or they was missing for a long time. Like they had all was doing something to make sure that they could, come back and say, no, I was doing this. I was over here in the bathroom, or no, I was still, wiping my sweat off from getting off stage, or people could say I was helping cleaning up in the backstage and all that stuff. So everybody made sure that they was in the right place at the right time, so that they didn't get wrapped up in with what happened to Duke, because eventually, that he walked out that back door, took the left, and everybody was parked on the right. And it was several people who seen everything happen. Like, you guys got to keep in mind that it was multiple witnesses there. And that's why, from when you look at the whole totality of the circumstances, it's a lot of reasons to why it's an ongoing situation. And as more details come out, y'all got to just pay attention and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video and go ahead and drop a comment down below. I'm going to catch you on the next one.